Title: Full Story. He left me while I was in surgery for my best friend. Part 1: The Quiet Lie. My name is Claire Donovan. I'm 36. I used to be a pediatric nurse, the kind of person who'd stay an extra hour to hold a newborn whose parents hadn't shown up yet. I believed in small kindnesses, in loyalty, in the idea that love was something you nurtured like a garden. I met James when I was 28. He was funny, attentive, the kind of man who remembered my coffee order and memorized my patients' names just so he could ask me about them at dinner. We dated for 3 years before he proposed at a cabin in Big Bear, snow falling all around us like a fairy tale. We got married in the fall. I wore my mother's veil, he cried when I walked down the aisle, and our vows made our families weep. We promised forever. We meant it, I think. At least I did. For 8 years, life was good. We weren't flashy or loud. We had traditions: Taco Tuesdays, Sunday hikes, birthday scavenger hunts. We tried for kids, but after 2 miscarriages, we agreed to take a break. I buried my grief in work. He buried his in silence. Things started to shift about a year ago, subtle things. His phone always face down, more solo work trips that didn't align with his calendar. He started sleeping on the edge of the bed. And worst of all, he stopped saying, "I love you" first. At first, I thought he was just tired, stressed. Men don't always talk about what's wrong, I told myself. Then, in March, I was diagnosed with a fibroid tumor. Benign, but painful. My doctor recommended a laparoscopic procedure, outpatient. I didn't want to worry anyone, not even James. I told him it was a minor thing, and he offered to drop me off but couldn't stay because of a big client lunch. I said, okay, I didn't expect flowers, just hoped he'd call. He didn't. When I woke up groggy and sore in the recovery room, it wasn't James picking me up. It was Ava, my best friend since college. She looked guilty, flushed, said James got held up. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. I didn't realize she was lying, not yet. That night, while I lay in bed with a heating pad and nausea, he came home late, said nothing, kissed my forehead like a stranger would. I cried silently and blamed the meds. The truth didn't slap me, it crept in. 2 weeks later, I found it, a notification on our shared iPad, a message preview from Ava, just 4 words. She doesn't suspect anything. I stared at it like it was written in another language. My fingers trembled. My heart did not. It had already started bracing itself. I didn't confront them, not yet. Instead, I waited, planned, watched the pieces shift around me, and when the time was right, I broke everything. Part 2: The Fall of Us. I started small: passwords, receipts, shared calendar events that didn't match reality. The truth was hidden in plain sight: love letters in Gmail drafts, hotel bookings under aliases, and a playlist he shared with her titled Midnights and You. Each song felt like a knife. But the worst wasn't the lies. It was the intimacy, the inside jokes, the way she called him our secret. They'd been together for almost a year. It started at a conference in Denver, the one I sent him off to with a handwritten note in his suitcase and a thermos of homemade soup. That same trip, he had slept with my best friend. It wasn't even revenge, just ease, familiarity. That's what he would later say, as if betraying me was a logistical choice. I made a plan. I invited them both to dinner. My birthday, I said. A small celebration, just the 3 of us. James looked confused. Ava looked uncomfortable. But they came. I cooked, lit candles, wore the red dress he once called his undoing. I poured wine. I smiled too much. They didn't notice the shake in my hands. I know, I said right after the appetizers. Forks paused mid-air. James blinked. Ava dropped her glass. It shattered across the hardwood like punctuation. I know everything. The hotel in Santa Barbara, the beach trip last November, the dinner in Napa on my anniversary, while I was in bed with a fever. Silence. James stood. Ava started crying. "You don't understand," she said. "I do," I replied. "I just didn't want to believe it." Then I handed them both an envelope. Inside, copies of the messages, hotel bills, and a letter from my lawyer. "I'm filing for divorce, and I've already sent this evidence to the licensing board, Ava. You're a licensed therapist. Sleeping with your best friend's husband isn't just cruel, it's unethical." She gasped. "You wouldn't—" "I already did." James followed me outside when I left, tried to grab my hand, told me it was a mistake, that he loved me, but I was done. I moved out that night, stayed with my sister, got a new number, blocked them both. I thought that was the end, but endings are rarely clean. 2 months later, James showed up at my door, sweating, shaking. Ava had left him, said she needed space. He begged for forgiveness, said he wanted to come home. I didn't even open the screen door. 3 weeks after that, he was gone. I got the call from his mother. Overdose, painkillers, wine. Alone in the apartment I picked out for us 5 years ago. They called it an accident. I wasn't sure. I went to the funeral. Not for him, but for the boy I once loved. The man who used to leave sticky notes in my lunch and sing in the car. The one who whispered our future into my ear at night. That version of him was already dead. The one in the casket just made it official. Ava didn't show up. And me? I stood in the back, wearing sunglasses no one questioned, and cried the kind of tears that don't ask permission. Mourning isn't always about who you lose. Sometimes it's about who you were, the girl who believed, the woman who stayed too long, the wife who begged for scraps. I buried her that day too. It's been 8 months now. I've started sketching again. I planted lavender on my windowsill. I laugh louder, sleep deeper. And when people ask if I'll ever love again, I say yes, but never the same way, never blindly. Because now I know, sometimes the people you die for are the ones who kill you the slowest. And surviving them is the bravest love story of all.